Hey, in today's video, I want to show you 6 crucial chord shapes for bass guitar. I'll see you inside the lesson. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and one of the questions I get asked a ton on the eBassGuitar YouTube channel and via our various Facebook groups is, what are the chords on bass guitar? Now, I think there's a degree of confusion that goes on because so many other instruments like the guitar and the piano play chords, but the bass guitar doesn't really play chords. We play single notes. At least about 98% of the time, the bass guitar doesn't play chords. But there are opportunities to play chords, which is what we're going to discover in this video. And they're also incredibly beneficial for improving us as musicians and bass players. So where playing chords becomes super useful is when we're understanding harmony, specifically jazz standards. And I'm going to show you 6 crucial chord shapes you can use to play 90% of jazz standard chords. But before we get going, I want you to know there's a completely free PDF which comes with this lesson, which will give you the chord chart we're using today and also our guide to bass guitar chords, which will show you all of the shapes that we're going to be covering today. You can grab your free PDF by clicking the link which is in the description below this video. So let me give you a taste of what bass guitar chords sound like. I'm going to use the jazz standard All of Me, and for the first time I think ever on the eBassGuitar YouTube channel, I'm going to play along to another bass player. Someone else is going to play the bass line. I'm going to play the chords. Let's hear what it sounds like. So there are 6 really crucial chord shapes that I'm going to teach you this lesson. 3 of those are what we call open voicings, and 3 of those are what are called closed voicings. So open voicings are rooted off our E string, and closed voicings are rooted off our A string. Now there are 3 shapes or 3 types of chords which you can get with open voicings and closed voicings, which really will give you 90% of the chords that you need to play jazz standards, particularly All of Me, which we've covered so far. So those chords are the major 7, use a little triangle there, the dominant 7th, and then the minor 7 chord. And then exactly the same thing goes on for the closed voicings too. And between that, you'll get all of the chords that you need. So first of all, I'm going to take you through the closed voicings to begin with, because this is going to give us our C major 7, which is the first chord of All of Me, and I'm going to take you through those 3 shapes. So the C major 7 shape is simply a C at the 15th fret, an E at the 14th fret, and then a B at the 16th fret on the G string. So on the A string, we have C, on the D string, we have E, and on the G string, we have a B. And those are the root, the third, and the major seventh. Now in jazz music, the fifth isn't a very important note, so that's often omitted. So our intervals, root, third, major seventh. That gives us a really nice mellow sound. Now we can take this into a dominant seventh chord. So all we need to do is take the B back a fret to the B flat. So we get this sound. So we have the major seven, which is a mellow sound, the dominant seventh, which is a more expectant sound. Then we have the minor seven, which is much more melancholy. And all we do here is we take the E back half a step to the E flat. So our notes are C, E flat, B, using our second, first, and third finger accordingly. So we now have all three of the closed voicing shapes. Now, let's move on to the open voicing shapes. We're going to take the F here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put an F down here at the 13th fret. Then we're going to jump a string, and this is why it's called an open voicing, because of the gap that's coming up here. And we are going to play an E here on the D string, and then an A on the G string. And this gives us a really mellow sound. And so this is using the root, the major seventh, and then the third goes on top. Now we can make this into a dominant seventh chord by taking our second finger from an E to an E flat. So you're playing the E flat at the 13th fret on the D string. So the major seven to the dominant seventh. Now we can make this a minor seven now by moving our first finger back to the A flat, which is found at the 13th fret on the G string. So we now have the three open chord voicings. So once you've got these 6 shapes down, it's now all about marrying it up with the correct root note so that we can play over all of me. So I'm going to take you through this now. So we're going to start off with C major 7th, found at the 15th fret on the A string, and use a closed voicing shape for the first chord, for 2 bars. Then we are going to go up to the E7. Now we just about got access on this 21 fret bass here to get that in there. So look at the dominant 7th shape there. And that rings out really nicely because it's right in the upper register of the instrument. So first chord. And then to the A7. And we're going to get this using an open voicing here at the 17th fret on the E string, using the 7th shape there. So we have our first 3 chords. Now we're going to go for a minor 7 shape here, which we're going to get using the closed voicing coming off the A string at the 17th fret. So we have our first 4 chords. So now I'm going to continue on into the B section. What you're going to discover as you learn more about this is there are multiple places you can get these chords. Now typically they don't sound so great when you take them below the 12th fret, but an E7 chord works really nicely using the opened voicing at the 12th fret there. So you got it off the E string, and you also got it off the A string there. Okay, 2 different sounds to exactly the same chord. So we have the E7 there, and then we're going to go up to the A minor 7, which I want to catch at the 17th fret on the E string, using that shape, and then the D7, also at the 17th fret, using the closed voicing, and then we're going to change the D7 to the D minor 7, and then to a G7, which you can find at the 15th fret on the E string using the open voicing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play these first 8 bars with a backing track and just play long notes with it so you can hear how it works. guys, we're about halfway through the lesson now, and I'd love to ask you, if you're enjoying this video and you haven't already done this, please, first of all, can you hit the like button, which is somewhere around the video, but more importantly, can you hit the subscribe button to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel? What this means for you is you'll be the first to know when a new lesson goes live, and we release a new lesson every single week. So hit that red subscribe button, which is somewhere around this video. So we're halfway through now, and I want to talk a little bit about rhythm and actually how to play the chords now. What I would start off doing is by plucking the chords using your 3 fingers like this, like that, and I do this little rhythm, dum, go, and playing that first note short, and then the second note just before the third beat long, so dum, 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 and that will give you a really nice jazz comping sound that you can use throughout it. When you get more experienced, you can start adding slides into it. You could even choose to play it more like the Freddie Green comping guitar sound from the Count Basie band. You could do that, which actually works really nicely too. So there are loads of options you can experiment. But just getting going, use your thumb first and second, and that should give you a really great sound. So let's finish all of me off now. Now the A section here is exactly the same as the A section up there, so we don't need to learn that again. But let's go to the F major here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the F major using an open voicing, and then to an F minor, also using the open voicing. What I would do here is go back to the E minor 7, just a half step down like so, and then up to the A7 up here, and then we would catch the D minor 7 here to the G7 there, and then to the C major 7. And what you notice here is you get this really beautiful box shape when you play the turnaround of going C, A, D, G there on the fretboard. Don't forget, the trick here is to marry up the root notes, which you can get from any fingerboard diagram, to the chord shapes here. So it should be really easy to locate these. Also, try and keep the chords as close together as you can on the fretboard, like I did with the turnaround here. So that's all played within a 4-note span, and that's what sounds really good to our ear. So what I want to do now is to wrap the whole lesson up is I'm going to play this with the rhythm that I showed you earlier. I'm going to start to embellish it a little bit. I'm going to add some slides to show you where this can go, and also just get a little bit more intricate from a rhythmic perspective. Please have some fun with this, learn the chords, because it will give you a great working knowledge of harmony, which is really important to us bass players because it will help us create better bass lines. But also it can be a fun thing to do on a gig as well, for the bass to suddenly take the chords every now and again. It does work. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up now, playing all of me all the way through. So enjoy. Guys, that's the end of today's lesson. Now, you will have heard a backing track that was running throughout the whole of this lesson, and all of our backing tracks are open, completely free to our BassLab Plus membership over at eBassGuitar. This is my private members training program, which takes beginners from playing their very first note and intermediates to becoming that advanced level. It's a full step-by-step training program. So if you want to take the BassLab Plus for a test drive and also grab the backing track track which is used in this lesson. What I've done is I put a completely free 14-day trial below. So there's a link in the description which is around this video. So please do check it out. Have a ton of fun with the membership. Let me know what you think. Anyway, that's it for today, and I will see you next week.